Welcome back. The San Diego City Council will be discussing the future of emergency ambulance transport service today. The Taxpayers Association says the decision to insource could cost taxpayers somewhere in the ballpark of $37 million. We're going to explain that and talk about it in a moment. Local firefighters say they would prefer an ambulance transport service at each of the city's fire stations provided by the City Fire Rescue Department. Now, the council will be discussing the matter this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Originally, there was scheduled a vote for that time. Joining me this morning to talk about this is Local Taxpayers Association President Felipe Monroig. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
It's a little confusing. There was going to be a vote today on these fire ambulance services, right?
Well, they're going to discuss the issue. So what happened is yesterday, Interim Mayor Todd Gloria released a memo saying that the city, which had already developed a request for proposals from vendors to provide ambulance services, is going to use that RFP, as they're known, to ask for bids for that service. The fire department had asked that the city restart that process so that they could bid on the services. Currently, they can't do that with the RFP. Mayor Gloria has decided that he's going to go ahead with the current RFP and then also possibly look at sometime in the future allowing the fire department to develop their own ability to bid.
Okay, put this more in layman's terms. The insourcing with the fire department seemed like it was jettisoned to go to a vote at some point, but that is off the table now? Or am I not getting this?
The way that it would work is the city would put out the request for proposal, they'll get bids, they accept one, and then the city council would vote to approve that contract.
Okay, now they will. Okay, what's wrong with the fire department doing it themselves?
Well, it's not that there's anything wrong. What we're looking at, currently the system works where you have the fire department go out and they are complemented by an ambulance that is done by a private provider.
Which has been rural metro for a number of years.
Correct, about 15, 17 years.
Okay.
I forget the exact number. So, and the system, by everyone's account, they've been good partners, and that's to quote the fire union. So the fire department wants to do that work themselves. Right now, the city gets a payment from the rural metro of approximately $10.4 million, which they use to help offset their costs on the firefighter side of the work.
Okay.
The firefighters, if they want to do the work, we decided to do an analysis of what kind of costs could be incurred by taxpayers. Since that $10.4 million goes away, you have to fill in that other part of the service, and as well as buying trucks, bringing in approximately 321 new staff members, the ongoing cost associated with that service. So looking at it from a taxpayer's perspective, everybody wants the system to work, and under no circumstances could I imagine the city would allow ambulance service to go down. In fact, they're looking to enhance it. But is it going to be done in a cost-effective and efficient manner? And that's what we were discussing.
What about response time? The fire department has had issues with that in the past.
Correct. Both the ambulance service provider as well as the fire department, since they both go out on calls, have response times. For the fire department, it's sub 8 minutes. And they have in the past had times when they haven't been able to meet that standard. And in fact, we haven't actually gotten performance data recently from them as to what their response times are. The ambulance service provider, currently Rural Metro, also has approximately a 12-minute response time, and they have been meeting under the terms of the current contract.
All right.
The new contract would theoretically have some different performance standards that they would have to meet.
So at 2 o'clock this afternoon, they'll be discussing it, and then at some point they will be asking for bids. Is that your understanding?
The city will be asking for bids from vendors to continue this service, and then the city council will vote on that sometime early next year.
All right. Felipe Monroig, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.